So recently I made a video that was related to the new trans clone trooper that is within Star Wars known as Sister. And I'm just here to clear things up. Just something to just clear up really fast so you guys can understand my exact viewpoints when coming from this. One of my main arguments that I've seen towards this, or that I have towards this whole thing, is that it doesn't really seem genuine. Just kind of seems like they're trying to force something. And that is, I just really don't understand what the obsession is with sex and gender and this and that within Star Wars right now, and but media in general. I mean, it just kind of seems like it's mainly the focal point of what a lot of these companies are trying to talk about, and not necessarily the character or writing a good story. It's almost like, to hell with a good story, to hell with a good character, let's just throw this in here. When in reality, me personally, I could really care less about what kind of sexual preferences these characters have, as long as it's a good character, that's a well-written character. And I actually have a perfect example about that coming from a video game called Cyberpunk 2077. Do you guys remember Claire Russell from Cyberpunk 2077? Yes, Claire Russell is a character within Cyberpunk who is a trans, and she's pretty cool, honestly. She has a pretty cool storyline, and she gives you some pretty cool rewards. And all she wants is revenge against a guy who took out her husband years ago. And if you guys have played Cyberpunk, it's possibly one of the most well thought out and cool sequences in the entire game itself. I personally think so myself. And it was only mentioned that she's trans once the entire time, and other than that, you really don't even think about it because the story behind it was so cool. Now, as I've stated in past videos, I am a Christian, so I don't necessarily agree with trans and gay people, but that doesn't mean that I hate them, and it doesn't mean that I'm scared or dislike them. No, they exist. They're people too. It's just something that's part of life. Same thing with politics. I have friends who are going to be voting for Trump. I have friends who are going to be voting for Kamala. Me, myself, I'm independent. I all think this is all a sham, but that's a topic for another video. But anyway, we all get along. I mean, we're in a group chat right now talking. So my issue is not with trans people or gay people. My issue is with Star Wars themselves and just kind of shoehorning this in. As I said before, it's almost like they're just saying, to hell with story. I mean, because technically, if you want to talk about it like this, technically by Star Wars standards, a trans clone is technically a defective clone, and that would make them more towards the Bad Batch, if anything. And this is what I mean by they're just kind of shoehorning stories in here, because it's like, if this is a trans clone, that technically means that it's defective, which means that it's part of the Bad Batch, which also means that if this clone didn't go through everything that the Bad Batch went through, where they were bullied, made fun of, constantly having to fight for themselves back on Kamino, which means in the story that if this trans clone kind of doesn't go through that exact same thing, then it kind of negates and destroys what part of the Bad Batch is all about. It legitimizes everything that they went through. And this is what I'm kind of talking about, where they kind of just say to hell with stories, because it's like, are you just going to throw a random clone in there that didn't have to go through any kind of adversity? And then with that viewpoint, you kind of start to see where it's like, all right, this doesn't really make any sense. And that's exactly what I'm saying, is that it's not making any sense story-wise for why it's happening. Now, me personally, I could give a rat's ass about what the sexual preference is, what they do in their free time. I could really care less. I mean, if Luke Skywalker was gay, which is my favorite character, then, you know, it is what it is. He'd still be my favorite character, and it has nothing to do about his sexual preferences, anything like that. I'm just saying that you have to make it make sense story-wise if that's what's going to happen. And it makes it feel more so that they're just trying to force something in here. I mean, they're just trying to say like, hey, look, trans clone, here, take that. Now, she is part of a comic that will be coming out, so I will try to pick that one up and actually try to read about it and try to get an understanding about what they're going to try to do, but I'm not gonna lie, if I come on here and I say it's a bad story, then I kind of have to give my honest opinion towards it. But overall, I just wanted to clear up my thoughts towards this. It's not because, you know, transphobia or gay phobia, whatever it's called, I'm not any of those kind of things. It's just my thoughts towards how it affects the overarching story of Star Wars. But anyway, that's all I got for this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I'm glad I was able to clear up some confusion about, or I hope I was able to clear up some confusion about my thoughts. Thanks for watching the entire video all the way through. If you made it to this point, I mean, I just have to say thank you, because I am a little bit sick right now and I'm really trying to push through. I have another video dropping tomorrow that's more deeper within Anakin Skywalker, so be tuned for that one. Also, thank you guys. We're at 377 subs. We're trying to get to 500 by the end of the year. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, honestly. Oh yeah, and about the video tomorrow, it's just a deep dive into Anakin Skywalker, almost to try to understand his psyche, everything like that along those lines. So stay tuned for that, as I said earlier. But anyway, may the force be with you guys, and always have a great rest of your day.